think that my mic was glitching out for a second, but I think it's okay now. Alright. Should be good. Alright. So, welcome to Street Fighter 2 Turbo whilst reading horrible fanfiction. This idea was inspired from Bird 941's really old, he did it back in 2011 or something. He did a series of Mega Man whilst reading horrible fanfiction videos. And that's where I got this idea from. So I recommend going and checking that out if you like this sort of thing. Because it's great. It's great. Anywho. I'm gonna wait for a minute before getting into the reading. And, wait for some people to filter in here. And until then, I'm going to just get all of my stuff up here. And I have my first fanfiction story, which is short. Yes, please, promote. Promote away. Promote to the world. This is gonna be terrible, so everyone needs to watch it. I'm also eating. Because food is important. And, I was brought food, so I'm eating it. By the way, this is on the, can't tell, 20th anniversary, blah blah blah, stuff. So, allows me to set the speed of the game and the difficulty. So I'm doing the arcade because it's the only mode in which I can find a computer. So, I've set everything down to the lowest it could go. Speed is the lowest. Difficulty is the lowest, because I want to actually maybe be able to even complete an arcade. And so, decided to do that since I'm also going to be reading something at the same time. Alright. I need to plug in my phone. That's a good thing to do. And then I'm gonna, do some practice here. While I wait for my friend promoting this in random places. That's unfortunate. Fantastic. So far I'm winning. I'm gonna decide to torture myself at some point and do an beating the arcade with every character stream. And I know I said that I hate the arcade. Not hate, I just don't prefer the arcade in fighting games. Which may sound weird considering that that's like the whole thing with playing fighting games. One player is do the arcade and, you know, beat the arcade, unlock stuff. Interesting fact, it says you must defeat Shenlong to stand a chance. That's Ryu's win quote. That's actually mistranslated from Japanese. It's supposed to be, something like, you can't beat my Dragon Punch, which is what his Shoryuken is called, that thing. That little thing is called a... And, Shoryuken means, Rising Dragon Fist, I think. And so you can call it a Dragon Punch. Shane, I saw you in a stream yesterday. You're gonna take a nap and miss my stream? How dare you? Sorry your headache's bothering you. Anyway. Apparently Shane, who someone Riley knows, I guess, is in here. I just got destroyed by Phelan. Alright. We got some people in here, so I think we're gonna start the fanfiction. Y'all ready for this? I'm gonna go out and you can see all the games. This is the anniversary collection for Street Fighter. As you can see, I got game difficulty and game speed down all the way. Alright. Bite of my quesadilla. I'm gonna start with Ryu. Y'all ready for this? Oh dear. Master Dark, I remember you in here before. Do you know about this from Riley, or is it just because you were in here before? I just destroyed Ken, oh my god. Yes, what? Yes, you're ready? Or yes, you're gonna take a nap and miss this? I'm so confused, people. What are you talking about? You guys ready for me to start the reading? Ah, which Discord server? The art one? Alright. Good job, you got it right. Zangief is the worst. Alright. I'm just waiting for you guys to say it's time to start the reading. Alright. So this is called Woody Goes Wood, and it's from... I can't pronounce that name. Tall Huzikal Pantekuli? is the author of it on fanfiction.net. And it's a story that people have done YouTube videos of. I sent it to Riley a long time ago, but she probably never listened to it. So, y'all hearing this for the first time, I'm sorry. And, I love that kick. Ow. And, yeah, that's it. So you can read it yourself on fanfiction.net. Woody Goes Wood. It's called, like, Woody's Got Wood, I've seen on YouTube, or various things like that. It's really hard to charge against Zangief. And I'm dead. One day, while Andy was masturbating, Woody got wood. He could no longer help himself. He watched as Andy stroked his juicy kawaii cock. He approached Andy, which startled him and made him pee everywhere on the floor, and on Woody, too. Being drenched in his urine made him harder than ever. Woody says, "Andy Senpai, I'm alive, and I want to be inside of you." Andy said, "Oh, Woody-chan, I always knew you were alive. I want to stuff you up my kawaii ass." Woody grabbed a bunch of flavored live, I assume it's supposed to be lube, and rubbed it all over his head. I think I was supposed to say his head. Woody says, "Oh my, it's cherry-flavored lube. Cherry is my favorite." Woody then stuffed his head up into Andy's tight ass. Which character am I picking? Try Honda. Honda's pretty good. But Sagat feels probably better to me. You're welcome. The other toys around the room watched intently as Woody shoved his head back and forth into Andy's nice ass. The other toys around the room... Wait, I just read that. And continuously making a squishy, wet noise. The other toys also became aroused and gathered around Woody and Andy and started to urinate all over them. Then they started to masturbate. Oh, Andy. Oh, Andy says, "Oh my goodness, Woody-chan, you are turning my insides up so well. Your nose is stimulating my prostate. Oh yes." All the other toys became so aroused by this that they could not help themselves anymore. They pushed Woody completely inside, and they all went inside. All of them wanted to be inside Andy's nice round ass. "No, wait, guys, my ass cannot hold this much. I'm getting so full." All the toys went inside of poor squirming Andy, and pretty much he was beyond full, and died from having his insides completely damaged. The mother came inside and found Andy dead, with a huge ass hemorrhage on his anus with a huge belly full of toys. And that's the end. That didn't take as long as I thought it would. I've actually been really distracted by reading the story. How is this ironic? Huh. Do you want to just quit and restart it? Because it's actually quicker than going through that countdown sequence. I haven't tried T-Hawk, and I've seen T-Hawk be pretty good. Ooh, pink T-Hawk. Yes, she died. Dudes, I don't know this character at all in this game. Alright, it has Condor Dive in the air. Mexican Typhoon when close. Double Typhoon, Tomahawk Buster. I died. I actually have one other one that's like longer. If you guys have any horrible fan fictions, go ahead and send it my way. Because, yeah, I don't really have many, actually, and I should probably have a bigger stock than I do, and that kills me. Yeah, I've played a lot of Street Fighter, specifically. Alright, this one is called The Sorting Hat's Love. And this one is actually extremely long. Like, way too long. This is a Harry Potter one. Yes, please help me find some. And this is called The Sorting Hat's Love, fanfiction.net. Again, I'm also gonna have to, like, scroll this at some point. And this is by, Haha Harry Polt, and they even subtitle it, "This is disturbing, poorly written, and disgusting. Enjoy." Very, very mature. Romance, humor. I think this should have horror in it, too. Anyway. Sorting Hat's Love. Harry Potter fanfic. Fanfiction.net. This is gonna be terrible. Good guess. Also, I might end up switching games here if I just get tired of this game, which is possible. I'm gonna play Cammy. So now, Riley won't know to focus on the game, or the fanfics. I'm playing Cammy. Hey look, it's Cammy and Phelan. Dumbledore regally strode across the library, carrying something in the crook of his arm. He gently leaned over Hermione, who was studying alone at a table. "Hermione, I'm taking the Sorting Hat out while I dust my quarters. You wouldn't mind watching him for a bit, would you?" "Of course not, Dumbledore," Hermione said, smiling. She was pleased that Dumbledore needed her help, even for such a mundane task. Dumbledore plopped the hat down on a table nearby Hermione and walked away. Patted her on the head and once again... Wait. Patted her on the head once again and regally walked away. I'm sad Phelan didn't kill me quicker. Also, I'm trying to do like 3 things at once here, and Riley would just die if you try to do this. Hermione returned to her studying when a gruff voice chimed. "What are you doing, Dragonfire?" "Excuse me?" Hermione looked around the room curiously. Sorting Hat hopped from his table and landed in front of Hermione. His voice took on deep baritones as he began to sing. It reminded Hermione of her mom's Muggle 70s records. "Your heart is dragon's fire, filling me with desire. Your small tits and big ass make my wand grow into a staff. Say you want me to, we don't have to make love, just screw." Hermione's mouth dropped open. What? She stumbled. The Sorting Hat leaned closer. "I never forgot how good it felt to sit on your head your first year, Hermione. I've wanted you ever since." Hermione awoke from her shocked state. "What are you talking about? This is crazy. You can't even shag anyone. You're a hat." She should have a British accent. What am I doing? The Sorting Hat came face to face with Hermione, his stitched eyes boring into hers. Try and focus on both of these things at once, it's horrible. Don't knock till you've tried it. I can do things no wizard your age can imagine. That's disgusting. You're disgusting. Hermione admonished. I'm going to tell Dumbledore. You want to see where my penis is? The Sorting Hat offered. What? Hermione looked over the south. I'm gonna use this chance to scroll. Hermione looked over the Sorting Hat doubtfully. I think I should say at the Sorting Hat doubtfully. Otherwise, this person is actually typing pretty well. She couldn't help but be a little curious, yet repulsed at the same time. The Sorting Hat sat on the table, his face contorted in concentration. He began to sink down like an accordion. What are you doing? Stop it! Hermione demanded. Suddenly the Sorting Hat flipped inside out. Now on the reversed point of the hat dangled a giant penis. His eyes and mouth transformed fully through the fabric. Ta-da! The Sorting Hat exclaimed proudly. Hermione stared in shock at the wobbling hat penis. Wait, that would mean every first year puts you on would feel your penis on top of their head. Don't flatter me that much, Hermione the Hat Coot. I'm not quite that big. Sometimes if I scrunch you, I'm real good. On someone with a particularly rounded head, I get a little tickle of contact. My semen's actually really good conditioner for witches and wizards' hair. Sometimes I squirt a little surprise for them when I get a chance. I don't see what there is to complain about, but stupid Dumbledore always keeps an eye on me. It's hard to get away with. The Hat finished grumpily. I'm trying to find my place. I'm speechless. Hermione's mind for the second time she could remember felt blank. You want to touch it? The Sorting Hat tipped his penis toward her, indicating. She did want to touch it since it was a strange-colored penis, looked incredibly soft, like the rest of his ragged velvet body, but that would be ridiculous. She averted her eyes. Look, just turn yourself right side up. The Sorting Hat caught her hesitation, moved in for the kill. Look, no one is here but you and me. And I won't tell anyone. My penis is as soft as butter and tastes like popcorn. Hermione was trying to analyze whether the last statement meant something positive or negative when the Hat bounded toward her and locked her in a kiss. She froze in surprise and a bit of horror as the Sorting Hat's mouth moved open and close over her tongue, causing her to spit pieces of lint. What are you doing? She spat. I know you want me, Hermione, the Hat said huskily, and he jumped into the air. Hermione watched him, startled, almost in slow-mo, her mouth open. The Hat's penis landed perfectly as planned in her whitened mouth, began bobbing up and down. I can't read this, like, without laughing. Hermione was almost too weirded out to take stock of the situation. She felt frozen in time, watching the Hat's eyes squinting intensely. Before she had time to react, the Hat groaned, and a blob of gooey cum dripped down her throat. The Hat jumped off, and Hermione gagged. How dare you, she screamed. I was trying to kill him that entire time. Sorry, distracted. I'm cheating. How dare you, she screamed at the Hat that looked dreamy-eyed and content. You know you like it, the Hat said confidently. Hermione made a sound of fury and stormed from the room. The next day, Hermione sat in the Great Hall, picking her breakfast. What's wrong with you, Hermione? Ron asked. Nothing I want to talk about, Hermione said grumpily. Ron and Harry looked at her with a concerned glance the rest of the meal. Dinner was almost over when the door to the Great Hall opened. Dumbledore rose from his chair. The Sorting Hat bounded down the center of the hall. Hermione's stomach dropped. The Sorting Hat reached the podium. He cleared his throat, and his voice boomed out loud enough for everyone to hear. Hermione Granger, please don't be a stranger. You're making me sob since you ran away after you gave me that blowjob. Please say you'll stay. And make sweet love until I spray. Let me check her super real quick. Even though I'm not gonna play her now, but I failed. McGonagall's eyes rolled to the back of her head and she fainted. Hermione was furious. The room was in quiet shock until Malfoy spoke up. Are you that desperate you have to blow a hat? The rest of the Slytherin table broke out in laughter. Hermione jumped up from her chair. She walked over to the hat and slapped it across the face where it fell sideways onto the ground. She then ran out of the room. She turned me down for a bloody hat, Ron said jealously. Harry was too stunned to speak or respond to Ron's idiotic comment. Okay, I'm gonna take a quick second to tell the story. So in my English class, when I was in school, I haven't played Honda yet. I was in a Harry Potter class, and actually before that I was in a Lord of the Rings class. Yeah, my school is fantastic. So anyway, in the Lord of the Rings, starting the Lord of the Rings class, but it sort of carried over into the HP class. We had a joke that was started by one of the people in the class, and the joke was "ta-da," and what that is referencing is when in the forest. Oh, by the way, spoilers about Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter. In the forest, Fangorn Forest, when the three hunters meet Gandalf, pretending to be Saruman, he sheds his cloak, and the way that it's said in the book is like he dropped his cloak or something to show himself, and it's like, so someone in the class made a joke which is that he said "ta-da" as he like flashed them, right? How big is this hat? It's actually a really big hat. Usually when the children come to Hogwarts when they're 11 and they put the hat on, it usually covers their eyes. Somewhere around there, so it's a pretty big hat. Anyway, so yeah, so someone made a joke out of that, like, and we called him Gandalf the Flasher. And so that was kind of recurred the next year in the Harry Potter class, when Voldemort in Book 7 is flying next to Harry in the motorbike. He's like, he's not made of anything, like he's not corporeal, and so he like has nothing on, and so he made a joke that like he has no clothes on. And so we also brought the "ta-da" joke back for that. And so this just made me think of that with the "ta-da." So anyway, moving back into the fanfic. Rain began to fall over Hogwarts. The Sorting Hat stood atop one of the towers looking down. Wait, I actually do have a green hand. Hold on. I'm checking a move. There's Flying Powerbomb and Atomic Suplex. Oh, I see, they're different. And then Banishing Flat, which is also known as Green Hand. Alright. Good to know. Anyway. Or will hate me for this. I had a lot of trouble with that. Okay. And I'm paying full attention to it, too. The Sorting Hat stood atop one of the towers looking down. Why are you so angry, Hermione? The Hat thought to himself. Why won't you give it a chance? The Hat was having his first feelings for someone other than himself, and he didn't like it one bit. He looked down at the ground far below him. He hopped up on one of the tower railings. I'm also gonna change this to just plain Street Fighter whilst reading horrible fanfiction, because I think I'm going to switch games here. So the name of the stream will change. Because I don't think I'm getting enough out of Street Fighter 2. Maybe the name of the stream will change. Maybe not. Oh, there it is. It changed when I actually went in and clicked on it, but it's not changing on my channel. Oh, there it is. Anyway. Why don't you give me a chance? The Hat was having his first feelings for someone other than himself. I'm gonna play a little bit more Street Fighter 2. And he didn't like it one bit. He looked down at the ground far below him. He hopped off one of the tower railings. Goodbye, cruel world, the Hat intoned before he jumped from the edge of the tower. He closed his eyes, awaiting the end. The wind picked up and the Hat spiraled, flying downward until he landed on the ground, relatively unharmed. Oh shit, that's right, I'm a hat. Later. Do you want to talk about it, Hermione? Harry asked through the closed bathroom door. No, I don't. I've been humiliated enough. Look, I won't judge you, Hermione. You know me better than that, Harry pleaded. That disgusting Hat. He just started kissing me and then jumped in my mouth, and before I knew what was happening, he finished. That sounds horrible. Harry felt terrible, but was also trying not to giggle. The Sorting Hat has a penis? Yes, I do, came a voice from down below. I should have won that one. Harry looked down at the Sorting Hat. What are you doing here? Haven't you caused enough trouble? Look, just let me talk to the girl. I'll sort this all out. Go away, Hermione yelled through the door. The Sorting Hat uses considerable powers to open the door and easily undid Hermione's wards. Okay. He slammed the door behind him and hopped over to the bed where Hermione was sitting. What are you doing here? Is there no way to be rid of you? Look, Hermione, the Sorting Hat said reasonably. I know I'm a little crass sometimes, but give me one more chance. Hermione eyed the Hat suspiciously. No, are you crazy? You humiliated me in front of everyone. Which character have I not played yet? Balong? Ooh, the purple. I just told a little story about when I was in school. Oh, and the Sorting Hat tried to commit suicide, but failed because he's a hat. Anyway, I would think of telling everyone you gave blowjobs and would improve your reputation, the hat finished sagely. Get out of here, you insufferable, horrid, raggedy hat, Hermione sputtered furiously. Hermione, be reasonable. All I ask is you give me one more chance. Give me one night to plow your sweetness, and you'll see I'm not such a bad guy. Plow your sweetness. Aye! Hermione screamed in frustration as she kicked the hat across the room. Also, I can tell you that story later about school, if you really want to know it, so don't worry about it. The hat unfolded itself from the wall. Am I just doing this super wrong? Yup. Alright. I didn't want to have to do this, Hermione, but you're giving me no choice. The Sorting Hat's eyes began to glow as he chanted. Hermione's face changed into a blank mask. When the chanting stopped, the hat hopped over to her. He scrunched down and flipped over, exposing his penis. That's right, the hat cooed. Give us a ride. Hermione undressed and laid down. The Sorting Hat moved to her pussy and began trying to give oral. His cotton mouth opened and closed over her opening. He bit down over her clit and began chomping away. Wait, he has teeth? Yes, Hermione groaned in her drug-like state. Because I can read. Also, I didn't want to pick Ryu. Getting too distracted. I haven't done Balrog yet today. Take me now, Hermione, the hat groaned. Hermione gripped the cotton and polyester and guided his penis into her pussy. The Sorting Hat's sounds of pleasure were muffled, since Hermione's hand was over his mouth. Hermione gently rode the Sorting Hat to make his penis slick and wet. She increased her pace, and less than a minute later, Sorting Hat began to feel close to coming. The Sorting Hat moaned in pleasure. He pumped Hermione full of hot semen and collapsed, falling deep asleep. Everyone began to notice a change in Hermione's behavior. She was quiet and distant and had a faraway look in her eyes. She stopped hanging out with Ron and Harry and disappeared after her classes. Something is wrong with Hermione, Ron told Harry, concern on his face. Ever since that day, the Sorting Hat told everyone she gave him head in the Great Hall. Harry shook his head sadly. Do you think she's embarrassed? Is that why she's acting weird? Ron questioned, his brain hurting from concentration. Oh, hell no, what? You can see it in your head! You're welcome. There's more to it than that, mate. I say we get the invisibility cloak and follow her. Later that day, Harry and Ron hid underneath the cloak and silently followed Hermione after she left class. Also, this person put so much time into this. She returned to her dormitory, where Harry and Ron managed to slip unnoticed through the door before it closed. I wish you can picture this. I so wish that you can. I just am getting destroyed, by the way, on the game. Also, I have no idea how to play this character. I don't care to look up his moves. She returned to her dormitory where Harry and Ron managed to slip through unnoticed through the door before it closed. They were met with quite a shock. The Sorting Hat was lounged on Hermione's bed, smoking a pipe and wearing red hat-sized pajamas. His penis dangled above the tip of his hat. Ron and Harry tried not to vomit, as within moments, Hermione laid the hat down on the bed and began riding it, her eyes blank as her moans permeated the room. Harry and Ron rushed from the room, not caring if the door mysteriously swung open. Ron could barely keep up with Harry as he rounded 2 halls before stopping and slid to the floor. Dulcim's terrible, but I'm willing to play every character before I move off. Horror was etched in his face. Ron was trying not to vomit. Hermione is sleeping with the Sorting Hat? Ron asked in disbelief. No, she hates the hat. She'd never do anything like that. Something must be wrong. Her eyes looked blank and lifeless. She must be under an Imperious curse or something, Harry said sadly. What do we do? Ron asked tearfully. We have to tell Dumbledore. Yes, I know all about the Sorting Hat's control over Hermione. Dumbledore chomped on jelly beans as he spoke, some spilling from his mouth and getting stuck in his beard. You do? Ron's mouth gaped open. Of course, the hat has been getting harder and harder to manage. Dumbledore paused. His eyes took on a serious glint as he leaned forward. I'm going to tell you boys a secret. The Sorting Hat. Dumbledore? Harry asked. Blimey, he's fallen asleep, Ron said, surprised. Oh yeah, you can just imagine this, like, without even being able to picture what the actors looked like. Like, as if, you know, you were just reading the book. I think Vega's the only one to have it playing apart from Ken, so. Dumbledore! Harry shook the old headmaster. Huh? What? Dumbledore snapped. The Sorting Hat, remember? Oh, yes. Dumbledore snapped impatiently. Let me tell you boys a secret. He leaned in once more. The Sorting Hat isn't what he appears to be. He was once a wizard. But a curse turned him into a hat, and so he has remained for the last 2,000 years. 2,000 years? Harry said, shocked. Yes, Harry, you remember him from stories long ago. 'Tis why I cannot hope to challenge him on the matter of your friend. He was once known as Merlin. Oh my god, the Sorting Hat is Merlin! I haven't actually read all of this story, by the way. I don't actually know all this character's moves either. Or his super. I'm actually just curious what his super is. Oh no! It's this one. I died. You cannot watch Toy Story 4 now. You're welcome. I love you too. What? You've got to be kidding, Ron interjected. His magic is old and ancient. Were I to intervene on Hermione's behalf, he could destroy me and the entire school with a murmur of a word. Well, that's then, isn't it? Well, that's that then, isn't it? Ron said hopelessly. Ron, I can't believe you. There has to be a way, Headmaster. Isn't there anything we can do? Harry pleaded. Ron interrupted. Wait, does that mean Merlin is a dirty old git? There must be a way, Dumbledore spoke gravely. If Hermione was given great sexual pleasure from someone other than the hat, his control over her might be lifted. Well, I'll volunteer for that, chirped Ron. Dumbledore eyed him with disdain. I have heard your reputation as a lover, Mr. Weasley. No, that won't do. It has to be someone skillful. Oh! Wrecked. What about you, Dumbledore? Harry asked. They say the older you are, the more experience you have in these matters. Well, my dear boy, as I do have an insatiable appetite, it's to be someone with more stamina. There was a knock on the door. Ah, perfect timing. Enter, Dumbledore commanded. Professor Snape strode into the room. Want to see me, Dumbledore? He spoke coolly. You can't be serious. Harry nearly jumped from his chair. Oh, but I am. I was so close. Oh, but I am. This is the only way to save Hermione. I am familiar with Snape's love-making skills and can vouch for him. Harry felt his lunch coming up again, but tried to keep it down. Alright, I'm switching to... Also, did you find any more fanfics? Game speed all the way down, game difficulty all the way down. Timer speed and damage level can stay the same. That's fine. I'm gonna see if it also does the weird banner thing on this game, too. Yeah, okay, so it's just in general. Harry felt his lunch coming up and tried to keep it down. Headmaster, there has to be another way. I'm afraid not, Harry, Dumbledore spoke calmly. Snape may be the only one who can break through the hat's spell. My sexual skills are more than adequate for any witch or wizard, Snape said confidently. Very good, Snape, Dumbledore said. I'll brief you on the situation. Meanwhile, Harry, Ron, I will need you to distract the hat while Snape pleasures her. Won't he just cast the spell again? Ron asked curiously. I need to distract the hat with a willing partner, one whom doesn't need magic to control. He'll eventually give up on Hermione and will at some point grow tired of his new love interest. This is usually how things go with him. I'm going to start with Ryu. And always use the A-ism because it's the only one I know how to use. Afterward, I will try to keep the hat in my cupboard where he belongs. It is the best I can do. Why don't you get on your laptop then? Also, why are you half asleep? You didn't get enough sleep? Oh yeah, guys in this game. Cool. So this is Street Fighter Alpha 3, by the way, which is the latest iteration of the next game. Also, oh my god. This game speed is like actually too slow. I cannot do this. I should probably just do the standard speed. I thought it would be like how it affected Turbo, but it's a default 3. Difficulty is 5 as a default. I don't know what free select is. I'm just gonna keep it on 3, which is the standard. I guess I can just finish this one. Although the next part's probably even worse. Ron wondered aloud. But who are we going to get to have sex with a hat? Harry sat for a moment deep in thought. What about Jenny? She's done almost everyone in the school. I mean, I don't think she'd mind. That's my sister you're talking about. Ron stood up angrily. Ginny seems like the best choice, Dumbledore said cheerfully, nonplussed by Ron's reaction. I don't know exactly why they decided to create so many Street Fighter 2 versions. There's 5 of them. But they did. And then they decided to do trilogies from there on. I mean, they didn't continue to do that because like Street Fighter 4 has like 4 or 5 iterations. There's Super Street Fighter 4, Street Fighter. I did not know you could air grab in this game. Super Street Fighter 4, Super Street Fighter 2012, Super Street Fighter Arcade Edition, or no, I think it was the Arcade Edition, then 2012. Then there's Ultra Street Fighter 4, and then there's Ultra Street Fighter 4 with the Omega mode, but it's still Ultra Street Fighter 4. So now there's like 4 of them. Street Fighter 4, Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition, or 2012, and then Ultra. So like they kept doing, and then so far they've had Street Fighter 5 and Street Fighter 5 Arcade Edition, I believe, just those two. So, well, if you don't want to get on your laptop, it's your issue. Well, I guess I'll just finish this fanfic, but if anyone else wants to find some horrible fanfiction, that would be great. I'll talk to the girl. You set up a meeting between them. The Hat may act stupid, but he's smarter than he seems. I actually do really like this game. You need to be suitable or subtle in your actions. While he's distracted, Snape will bed Hermione. Did you ever thought you would hear these words? You can count on us, Dumbledore, Harry said. Seemed, after all, to be the only way. Ron's face was red with anger as he stormed out with Harry behind him. I failed that. Later. Hey, Sorting Hat, Ron yelled at the Hat who was lounging in Hermione's dorm. Hermione was still in class. The Hat eyed Ron suspiciously. What do you want, Weasley? This girl has a crush on you. And she's kind of shy, so, well, she told me and Harry to come and ask you to meet with her. What girl? The Hat snapped. Harry stepped forward. She doesn't want us to tell you, but you'll like her. She's got more experience than Hermione, that's for sure. They're all technically the same game, but they're just different versions of the same game. So all of the Street Fighter 2 games are still Street Fighter 2. There's the original Street Fighter 2, which is the World Warrior. Then there's the new Challengers is one of them. There's Turbo, which is the one I was just playing, which is the 5th one. The one done last. What I was trying to say. And, but yeah, they're all technically the same game, with just different variations, like adding more characters, changing some mechanics, changing the characters, and, like, how they function, all that stuff. Anyway, this game is definitely much easier than Street Fighter 2 for me. Also, just realizing that Ron is setting up a screw with the Sorting Hat and his sister is hilarious. Also, I'm failing miserably right now. Alright. The Hat glared at the two boys. Alright, I'll go with you, but if you tore up to something, you'll regret it. The Hat bounced out of the room, following Harry and Ron until he reached the library, where in a quiet corner sat Jenny. There she is, mate. Harry patted the Hat in camaraderie. I think it's supposed to say camaraderie. She's not that hot, the Hat grumbled. She makes up for it in other ways, Harry assured him. How does Harry know this? I actually sort of just want to play this game. Oh yeah, Ultra Street Fighter 2, I believe, is the latest version of the remakes of Street Fighter 2. Which is, yeah, I haven't gotten that one or tried it out yet, but it's pretty fun. I've seen. So. Also, this computer in this game is a lot easier on level 1 than in other games. Huh. Harry and Ron watched Ginny and the Hat chatting. She reached underneath the Hat's room and grabbed its penis. The Hat smiled. The first part of their plan seemed to be going well. Hermione returned to her dormitory. She wondered why the Hat was not there. She looked under the bed when a voice from behind startled her. Hermione, Snape purred. Professor Snape, what are you doing here? You've been put under a spell, Hermione. I've come to break you free from it. Hermione seemed confused. Thinking seemed like such a hard thing to do lately. What do you mean? I've come to share my love-making skills with you. I'm afraid it's the only way to free you. You are placed under a spell. Wait, there's no dashing in this game, is there? Nope. I'm totally failing to read at this point because I'm actually into the game. The Hat is placed under a spell. Hermione backed away. What? No, that's not true. Stay away from me. Snape knew part of the curse was making her act irrationally. McGonagall already fluffed me up, so I'm ready to go. Wait, what? Snape dropped his pants, exposing his huge 11-inch penis. Hermione stared at it in surprise. Severus, why did they suddenly switch to using a different name for him? I don't know. Anyway. Severus cast a spell removing Hermione's clothes. Wait, that spell exists? Also, I am failing so hard right now to do that. Ow. I actually lost a round. Oh my god. He gently pushed her down the bed. Lay down, Hermione. You will soon feel the pleasure of Snape's snake. Snape began sucking on Hermione's boob like a calf sucking on a cow's udder. He slid his hand expertly down to her pot of honey and stroked it. He moved his lips and bit small marks on her like someone eating a bag of potato chips. This is like the worst thing ever. Hermione moaned like a ghost in a graveyard. This is almost over. You ready to ride the Snape Express? Snape said silkily. Hermione nodded and Snape entered her like a plow to the earth. Hermione screamed in ecstasy as her cries loud as a whistling teapot. Snape began pumping into her wildly as if he were digging for oil. This is the best part. I can't believe I never read this. Her pussy was as soft as wet as gillyweed. Snape smelled like the lace wings and snout gills he used in his potions. Also, look at that Vega picture. Perfect for this moment. Hermione's face contorted in pleasure like a clown at a birthday party. As he continued his ministrations. The potion, I can't... Finally. Jeez, that was close. Anyone like this story? The potion master was giving her more pleasure than Hermione had ever experienced. Her eyes became clear as she orgasmed with enough liquid to fill a pensieve. Snape groaned. Also, Vega's kind of really hard to battle while reading this. Because he's all over the place. Oh my god. Her eyes became clear. She orgasmed with enough liquid to fill a pensieve. Snape groaned as he finished shooting into her like a muggle water gun. What happened? Hermione asked after moving on from underneath Snape. Apparently I've broken the control the hat had over you, Snape said arrogantly. Meanwhile, the hat was enjoying Ginny's sexual favors. He finished and lit a cigar. Look, babe, that was great, but I'm not a commitment type of hat. Besides, I'm seeing Hermione. Wait, that was... I'm not a commitment type of hat, but I'm seeing Hermione. Okay. What do you need her for? Ginny spoke suggestively. She leaned down to give the hat head. Dumbledore, Harry, and Ron sat in Dumbledore's office. Seems everything's worked for the best. Dumbledore was once again eating jelly beans. I just want to actually hit with the other super. Yeah, everyone got shagged but me, Ron said selfishly. Dumbledore looked at Ron, considering. Harry, why don't you leave me and Ron alone for a minute? Harry, confused, walked out of the office. He stood by the door listening and heard heavy panting. Well, I guess everyone's been shagged now but me. Snape leaned against the wall. Potter, come to the dungeons for detention. Harry smiled a little, Harry smiled a little skip as he followed the potions master. A little skip in his step. I think that was mistyped there. Anyway. I'm actually doing really well in the game, too. That's the end. You're welcome. I am... I don't know what is even happening. That's all I got at the moment. If anyone else has any other stories, then go ahead and throw them out, and I will read them. As long as they're horrible fanfiction. Still says 8 hours and 9 minutes for some reason. Oh no! I'm battling. I'm pausing, actually. Who else is here? Riley, are you here? Oh, that starts forward. I really like Ryu's movement in this game. Aw, darn. Also, dude, if you want to learn to play Street Fighter, maybe I could help you out a bit. Like, give you some tips on it. Because I've been playing Street Fighter for quite a while, and I know some ways to do movements that maybe you don't know. And you just have to practice a whole ton, of course. I just wanted to hit with the one super. Alright. I mean, I could go look for fanfiction myself. I mean, I just got a game over, so I'll do that. Ten fanfiction excerpts that are so bad they will break you. Oh, this is a Pokemon one. Alright, I'm trying to find this one, and... Me, I'm trying. Okay, go ahead, send it to me. Well, I'm sorry that you're so tired. I really want to find this Pokemon one. Yeah. Maybe it got deleted or something. That's not it either. You just sent me something? Is that like... Is that the fanfic? Also, you've shown me that before. Okay. I guess I'll read this. I want Andy Hurley to shove garlic bread up my ass, like garlic bread straight out of the oven so it's really hot and crispy. Not just one slice of garlic bread, maybe like 10 pounds worth of garlic bread, sometimes 20 pounds. I just want his hands to be covered in garlic, and I want him to shove so much garlic bread up my ass that I start to fart garlic powder. Alright. Good on you, I guess. Also, I'm not finding crap. Like... I'm very confused. Is this it? It's sending me to like a Tumblr page that they say doesn't exist. I don't get it. So does that mean it was deleted for some reason? Well, fine then. That's stupid. That's not really a fanfic, but that's fine. Alright, I guess I'm looking for something else. Here's a Twilight one. Let me see if I can find the Twilight one. Did that entirely... It probably entirely messed up the screen. Maybe? Well, it's like shifted over now, weirdly. I'm okay. I'm gonna move it back. Is it fixed? I think so. Looks fixed. Alright, what's writing? And no, we actually like Twilight. I don't know what writing is. Apparently this Twilight story was on a podcast. Anyway. Actually a website called badfanfictives.blogspot.com. Anyway, this is called Kindle, a Twilight story. Twilight spelled Twilite. Title Kindle, author unknown. Published 2014. I'm gonna have to like scroll this though, so it's gonna be horrible while I'm playing, and I'm gonna finish my quesadilla. Alright, I'll try that one next. And, I'm actually gonna switch games for a minute, because I want Riley to see someone in Third Strike. That looks good. One of my favorite characters to play in this game, Remy. Alright. This is the Twilight fanfic. I was sitting in the living room watching some Grey's Anatomy when Eddie ran in and said I smelled like I was pregnant. OMG, I couldn't be pregnant, but it was true. We went to the Walmart and got a pregnant test, and it said I was pregnant, even though I had to pee on it. Ew. Anyway, so I was pregnant with Carl's baby, and I was so happy to have a little baby Carl inside my tummy. But I was hungry for blood, and lots of it. So I had to kill Lorne and drink all of his black person blood, because black person blood has more nutrients in it because it's darker. Carl knows all that stuff because he's a doctor and stuff. Eddie was worried that I was pregnant with his baby, and Carl got mad and went to his mom's house for the night. When he came back, he said it was definitely his, and Eddie was okay. And that night, me and Carl didn't know what he said. My giant pregnant belly was very sexy, and I didn't look fat at all. I don't know what to say. By the way, this is Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, if you're wondering. I'm gonna send it to you, actually. Also, has Remy unzipped his jacket yet? Because that's the part I want you to see. Also, I'm pausing that. And sending you the link to this so you can actually see how bad this grammar really is. I'm Xing out of that tab forever. That's it. That's all that there was. It's short. Milk Fic Raiden. It's just called the Milk Fic. By Panic Over Fandoms and Feels. I don't know who these people are. Am I supposed to know who these people are? So I noticed there was an actual copy of the real milk fic on, so I decided to change that. This is mine, just reposting it. Okay. Who's Ryan and Brendan? I don't understand. Are you gonna explain to me who these people are? I'm gonna be right back. I'm going to the bathroom. Well, that's why I don't know. I don't listen to that band. I don't really care for fanfics that are about real people. That's kind of like meh. But I'll read it for you. Alright. Ryan was kneeling in the bathtub, a towel under his knees, another under his hands. His head turned as he craned his neck to watch Brendan working. The younger boy swirled the spoon over his large bowl before tapping against the rim and laid it on the counter. You know it'll cool down in a little while, once I get in the bag, but is that good? Brendan bent over next to the tub so that Ryan could slowly dip 2 fingers into the bowl, nodding once. It's fine. Brendan nodded again, reaching out to stroke Ryan's hair, before standing back up and returning to the sink, where all the equipment was spread out. The hook was already hanging from the shower curtain, so Brendan could hang the bag as soon as it was full. That was an overhead. Go ahead and take the plug out. Go ahead and take the plug out, baby. His voice was soft and gentle. And start with your fingers. It was the gentlest of their darker interludes. No name-calling or hair-pulling or punishments or noises of pain. Heard enough on its own. It's degrading enough on its own. Brendan didn't need to add anything to that. I'm so confused about what's happening right now. Brendan felt a small tremor run through his body as he heard soft moaning coming from the bathtub. He knew that the other boy had just extracted the plug. He glanced up at the mirror, watching the boy set the glass plug on the edge of the tub next to the bottle of lubricant. Ryan picked up the bottle, desperate to fill himself as he opened it, but dripping some of the lubricant onto his fingers and rubbing them. It was cold to the initial touch, but warmed as his fingers moved. You're so fucking hot like that, baby, Brendan purred, from the sink where the bag was nearly half full. Now go ahead. Ryan flushed warm from the compliment, his wrist sliding down along his waist, hip bone, and curve of his ass. Then his fingers were poised, resting against his entrance before pressing in. He was already loose from the plug, so it was an easy intrusion. He didn't even bother with more lubricant. Before pressing a third finger in, moaning outright at the stretch. He started as he heard the click from Brendan hanging the bag. Already? Don't sound so disappointed, the boy chided softly. You can keep your fingers in for a second. He almost added a soft slut, but stopped himself. Brendan leaned down, reaching for the bottle of lubricant, letting himself hover over Ryan for a moment, his breath tickling the back of the boy's neck. Just think about everything I'll do after, he whispered before straightening back up and sticking the lube across the tip of the nozzle into his fingers. Okay. Ryan whined but slowly pulled his fingers out anyway. He wasn't empty for longer than a few seconds. Brendan's fingers immediately sliding over his opening before pressing in, and pulling out to press in the tip of the nozzle. Breathe, he murmured, fingers running down the boy's spine. I'm going to now, okay? Wait, Ryan choked out. I'm going to now, Brendan repeated, voice a little harder this time. You're fine. He kept his fingers running along the boy's spine as he loosened the clamp. Ryan bit his bottom lip, moaning as he felt the first rush of warm milk sliding into his body. The beginning of the enema was always like Brendan's fingers were now, smooth and soft almost. I completely just got destroyed by Chun-Li. The cramps would come soon enough, but Brendan's fingers would still be the same. You're doing great, baby. The boy leaned down, letting soft kisses feather along Ryan's lower back. So good. Wait, I just missed like a whole paragraph. I have no idea what's happening, by the way. When they started, one of Ryan's hands flew up to his stomach and Brendan stopped the flow without a word, letting the other boy massage his abdomen to ease the pain. Just tell me. Okay, Ryan whispered. Oops, I accidentally just skipped down. His hand still on his stomach. Brendan loosed the clamp again and Ryan felt the warmth continuing to enter his body. He continued to try and massage away. Sorry. Just continued to try and massage away the dull ache of the cramps, as he felt his stomach slowly begin to expand from the amount of liquid he'd taken. Stop, he choked out. Again, he wasn't supposed to ask how much, but he was desperate to know. He felt like he'd taken half already, but he knew it was probably much more like a quarter of the bag. Bren, he asked, his voice close to cracking. Bren ain't. His voice was weak. You're doing great, baby. The boy leaned down, letting soft kisses feather along Ryan's lower back. So good. The tears were starting to build up. Ryan could feel them in his chest, waiting there. Another ache in his body. I'm still waiting for the one wind movement from Remy. That's all I'm waiting for. I want Riley to see this. Because I'm trying to play a game at the same time. Hold on. I just heard my brother say, I'm not angry, you're just a piece of shit. Hold on, I need to check out what's going on. Alright. No idea where I was. But whatever. Tears are starting to build up. Ryan could feel them in his chest, waiting there. Another ache in his body. I don't... Sorry. Coughing. Sorry that you're upset, Riley. He let his head fall forward. Trying to slow his breathing, trying to focus on Brendan's fingers instead of the liquid inside him. Okay, he whispered, voice cracking as the first tears slid down his cheeks. The flow continued, and Brendan slowed the flow without a say-so after 5 minutes or so. You're taking it so well, Rye, he cooed. You've got half. Usually didn't tell Ryan how much he'd taken, but it had been a while since they'd done this, and I didn't want the boy to break before he managed to get both quarts in. Half? Ryan said, voice timid. As if he wasn't sure he should be relieved or disconcerted. Brendan leaned forward. Letting his lips kiss the back of Brian's neck. Then between the boys' shoulder blades. Are you ready for more? When Ryan hesitated, Brendan squeezed his hip. You can take it, baby. You've done this before. Ryan's head nodded. You like Remy? Ryan's head nodded a fraction of an inch, his breathing already labored. He gave a small squeak as the milk started slipping into his body again. Please, please, I can't. He shook his head, the tears coming out for real now. Brendan clamped the nozzle again. I can't, Bren. Please. I need to... Please. The younger boy reached his hands down to Ryan's stomach. The curve of a belly that wasn't there usually. You know you can take this, he said, voice low but not angry or disappointed. I know you can, Rye. He let their fingertips brush. I won't make you, he added. It's up to you. Ryan hated that. It would have been so much easier to go along with it if Brendan hadn't given him the choice. Now it's up to him to decide if he wanted to be selfish and disappoint his boyfriend and not get rewarded, or just go along with it and deal with the pain. I'll try, he mumbled weakly, squeezing his eyes shut, and that's what it says, and biting his bottom lip between his teeth as he felt the flow again. Brendan slipped his hand down Ryan's stomach to wrap around his cock, gently stroking it, trying to turn the whimpers that the older boy was now making into moans. So good, baby. I really like playing Remy, it's fun. I don't know what this means. I don't even know what that is, sorry. Brandon slipped his hand. I already read that. You're taking it so good. It hurts, Rye choked out. Break. Brendan locked the clamp again, letting Ryan rub at his stomach and try to catch his breath. I think I can just spam this, and I'm pretty good. I'm just taking a break from the reading for a second, because, I don't know, I have a bit of a headache. I'm confused about if you actually like it or not, so. It's almost all in, he said gently, still stroking the other boy's erection. Just a little bit more. I know you can take it, Rye. How much? The question hung heavy in the air for a minute. Ryan wasn't supposed to ask and he knew it, but he also knew Brenda never spanked him or punished him during an enema. So the worst possibility was simply the other boy wouldn't tell him. Probably 4 ounces. Brendan answered finally. I'm going to start it again, okay? You can take it all in one go. Ryan nodded, gritting his teeth and counting silently in his head. Hoping it wouldn't take longer than a minute to finish. He was only a few seconds over when the flow stopped and Brendan planted a kiss to the small of Ryan's back. I'm going to switch it out for the plug, okay? Keep it in. Ryan tightened his muscles, his toes curling as he did so. It hurt, tensing up along with a dull ache in his abdomen. Even with all the tightening, a little bit of milk water of the milk/water mixture escaped, sliding down the inside of his thigh. And then the plug was in and he could relax his muscles. Okay. Then the plug was in, he could relax his muscles. Actually, I'm probably going to lose to Elena.
Prepare to strike. Now.
I have a real problem against this character. Especially with Remy, because with Remy I need, like, some chill for a second, and Elena has no chill. So, yeah, I'm probably going to lose this one, even when I'm not trying to do something else. Alright, glad you're enjoying it. I'll try and find, like, a video of it if if it's not doing the Remy win thing that I want. And yeah, I'm quitting and restarting. That's all I'm waiting on right now. And trying different costume colors. I don't think Blue Nocturne's very good in this mode. I like Supreme Rising Rage Flash as well. Plug was in and he could relax his muscles, but only somewhat. The blue's not bad, but I wish it was a brighter blue. Ow, harsh. Oh, that's the one I was looking for. I missed it. See, I can't do both at once. Okay. Then I'll probably just switch characters. Alright. Thanks for actually telling me. I thought you might enjoy that. Yoon is good, but I don't really play him a lot. I don't know. Remy is sort of like my favorite character in this game. I don't know why. I just like how he moves, and I can do Ken. Why not? Brandon picked up a washcloth and wiped the liquid that had slid down Ryan's skin. I'm gonna go against Remy. It wouldn't be long now, Ryan knew. It always seemed an eternity. 5 minutes or 10 minutes could feel like hours. Brendan's fingers slid up Ryan's back until they were twisted gently in his hair. I can't wait to get you on the bed, he said thickly, voice low and gravelly. Gonna shove my tongue in you so deep, baby. Ryan moaned outright, despite the dull pain in his muscles and stomach. It was a low moan, soft, but a moan.
Are you ready? Go.
Nonetheless, Brendan smiled at the sound. Is this what you want? The younger boy continued in the same tone. You want my tongue in you? You want me to fuck your ass with my mouth? Oh my god. Apparently playing against Remy, it's like terrible. It's all I was trying to do. You're going to taste so fucking good, baby. His fingers tightened slightly in Ryan's hair. Ugh. Not enough to cause any pain, just enough to make the boy gasp and then moan again.
Yeah, I've been waiting for this. Fighters ready. Engage.
I'll fuck you so hard, baby, so goddamn hard and deep inside you. And then you'll take my cum in your pretty mouth. Ryan was whimpering, his hands moving ever so slightly, squirming. Please, he choked out. That heavy kick, though.
Fighters ready. Engage.
He was begging for release. He knew that hadn't been long enough, but if Brendan kept it up, then he knew he wouldn't be able to hold it in. I think I can just hold it for another couple of minutes. You can just hold it for another couple of minutes. But Brendan let go of Ryan's hair and sat back slightly, just letting his hands run slowly up the boy's sides. The older boy was quiet.
You win.
Just a few whimpers leaving his mouth, but still squirming. Brendan let his hands slip lower until he was firmly grasping Ryan's ass in both hands. Almost, baby, almost. There was another minute or so, Brendan's fingers skimming over the curve of Ryan's cheeks and the older boy's trying not to lose anything, trying to keep his muscles tense just enough. Okay, Brendan stood up slowly, kissing Ryan on the back of the neck before stepping out of the tub. Don't lose anything, okay? He held his hands out, letting Ryan take them as he stood and gingerly climbed out of the tub. Brendan lifted up the lid of the toilet seat and helped Ryan sit. That was when Ryan started to cry. He hated it. He hated how Brendan was there for the release. So humiliating, worse than threats of letting Spencer watch or have Pete fuck him that one time when Brendan took Polaroids. Please just, I can, Ryan said. I'm fine, I can. I don't know if the supers actually make any difference. I'm just gonna do it. I need to scroll. Brendan looks stern, frowning and shaking his head slightly. Stop. Ryan cried harder, bringing his hands up to push at Brendan when the boy moved closer. But too submissive to actually do it as the boy reached between his legs, fingers closed around the end of the plug. Please, Ryan whispered. Please, Bren. The boy ignored him. Don't let it go until I tell you to. He let Ryan's face fall into his shoulder, shaking as his choked sobs as Brendan slowly pulled the plug out. He sat onto the counter next to the bowl he had mixed the milk and water in. Yeah, get over to the other side. Don't let it go until I tell you to. He let Ryan's face fall into his shoulder. The boy was shaking from his choked sobs as Brendan slowly pulled the plug out. He sat on the counter next to the bowl he had mixed the milk and water in. Oh, that's what the bowl was for. One arm came up around Ryan. Despite his tears, the boy was still clenching. Tighter than probably necessary. Okay, go ahead. What do you mean, everywhere I tell you? Everywhere what? Okay, go ahead. Ryan shook his head. No. He cried hard when Brendan pressed his lips against the boy's temple. Please? Ryan, now. The boy was still crying, clinging desperately to Brendan as the first drops of the mixture began to slip out. And then, like always, he realized they had no choice and just let go. Sobbing harder as he heard the liquid falling to the toilet. For Brendan's part, he just held the boy, running fingers down his back, cooing soft sentiments to him. Good boy, Rye, good boy. Finally, the noises slowed, and Brendan took a step back, letting Ryan wipe and flush the toilet. They washed their hands in the sink and Ryan blew his nose. I'm sorry, he whispered, refusing to look at Brendan. I didn't mean to. I know you won't hurt me. Brendan's cool fingers, still slightly wet from the water, slid into Ryan's chin, tilting the boy's face up to meet his eyes. Thank you, he returned, leaning and kissing him, soft at first. Then harder, tongue slipping in. Bed now, he added, unable to contain his smile as he felt Ryan's lips curve upward against his. They walked out to the hotel bedroom area and Brendan nodded silently, indicating Ryan should assume the position on the bed. Back or knees? Knees if they're not still too sore. Ryan would take a lot more sore knees for a rim job, as he clearly demonstrated, so Brendan nodded his approval as the boy got on all fours on the bed. Hey, we're matching colors. The computers jump so freaking much in this game. Oh my god.
Are you ready? Go.
Ryan kept his head facing forward, resisting the urge to look over his shoulder and watch Brendan. The younger boy loved that, how he didn't have to order the boy to do it. Ryan obeyed the unspoken command of his own accord. That does a lot of damage, jeez. Yeah, no way I was winning that. Nice cross up, Sean. I'm going back to Alpha 3. Also checking the settings are correct. Is it hot in here to anyone else? The window's like open. Bleh. Alright. I'll just wait until you get back, I guess. I'm gonna play Sakura. Birdie. Die, Birdie. Okay, this should be pretty simple here in this fight. This is back to Alpha 3, by the way. And this is Sakura, who is someone you haven't seen yet. Okay. The bed sunk down as Brendan knelt behind Ryan, hands squeezing the boy's hips. Brendan leaned in, pressing a soft kiss to Ryan's entrance, smiling when he heard the moan. Birdie is harsh. This is a hard game to play while doing something else. Her Hadokens are better in this game. Wait, where was I? The bed sunk down as Brendan knelt behind Ryan, hands squeezing the boy's hips. Brendan leaned in, pressing a soft kiss to Ryan's entrance, smiling when he heard the moan. His mouth opened, tongue slipped out, licking a broad, even strokes. No, it would do nothing but tease Ryan, torturing him. And truthfully, it was all Ryan could do to keep from pressing his ass back on Brendan's face while begging more and more. Brendan sat up, leaned forward, pressing 2 fingers to Ryan's lips. The boy sucked them in his mouth without a word, his tongue sliding around the digits, trying to not get overeager. Huh. Trying not to just beg Brendan to fuck him and start grinding his hips on the bed, while Brendan pulled his fingers from the boy's mouth, leaned in for the kiss.
smiling as he swallowed the moan from the intrusion of his fingers entering Ryan's hole while they were still kissing. Probably last one, because this is long and like I'm tired. His mouth was gone and Ryan's fingers twisted in the bed sheets knowing what was coming. The muscles in his body tensing in anticipation. Brendan's fingers pulled slowly, evenly, opening Ryan up just enough to slip his tongue in. Got him. I have no idea where I was. When Brendan pulled his fingers from the boy's mouth, he leaned in for the kiss, while he swallowed the moan from the intrusion of his fingers entering Ryan's hole while they were still kissing. Then his mouth was gone and Ryan's fingers twisted in the bed sheets knowing what was coming. The muscles in his body tensing in anticipation, Brendan's fingers pulled slowly, evenly, opening Ryan up just enough to slip his tongue in, looking around the edge of Ryan's entrance. He looked over his own fingers as he slowly added another digit from each hand, pulling Ryan more open, exposing him more. Tongue slipped in deeper, and Ryan tried so hard not to put his ass back on Brendan's face. The younger boy's tongue still dipping in and out, slow at first, and then quicker. Ryan was moaning, head thrown back, hips barely rocking. Brendan pulled his tongue out and his fingers, letting his hips press against the hole that was still open to the air. He began to suck, and Ryan let out a stream of expletives that Brendan had never heard before. He let up the pressure. I kind of demolished Corinne there. His tongue slipping back inside once more, teasing, pulling out to trance around the inside. Fuck me, Ryan asked, his voice high-pitched and uncertain. Brendan pulled off almost immediately, but didn't straighten up yet. Now I'm being destroyed. Brendan pulled off immediately but didn't straighten up yet, pressing two fingers into Ryan abruptly, smirking at the boy's gasp. He slowly twisted them. Want me to fuck you? He asked as if he hadn't heard. Voice casual. Please, Brenny. The older boy returned desperately, pressing back against his fingers, his head falling into the pillows as he collapsed on his arms. Support falling to his elbows. The fingers slipped in and out. Brendan helped Ryan to his back, kissing him softly on the mouth. Curiously, searching for the taste. Honestly, can't even track what's like what I'm reading or anything. Enjoying Ryan's tongue probing his mouth curiously, searching for the taste, he pulled away after the moment, and the older boy gave an airy sort of sigh. So it was between Ryan's legs, bending him at the knee and separating them, setting them between the thighs before he pushed in. No lubricant and no warning. Forgot he can climb on the thing at the back. I'm kind of salty that I lost that one. Ryan made a low noise in the back of his throat at the burn, the stretch. He'd been waiting for this. Brendan hadn't fucked him for a week, not properly. Toys and fingers and a fist, but not this. So simple, just then. Nothing artificial. He wrapped his arms around his boyfriend's neck, leaning up to kiss his neck. I don't like how they use neck twice in the same sentence. They looked like any other couple just then, he mused. No one had been able to look at this scene and guess that Ryan had just been given a 2-quart enema. Or that the other day he'd been made to stand in the corner for an hour after Brendan spanked him 50 times with a hairbrush. Brendan could tell Ryan was thinking, and he angled his hips, shoving in roughly. When Ryan's eyes popped open even wider, and he let out a tiny squeak, he knew he'd just found the spot. All semblance of thought seemed to evaporate from Ryan's features as he gave in and started rocking against Brendan's hips, moaning. He reached for his boyfriend's hand, pressing the palm against his throat. "Please," he whispered. Brendan didn't need to be told twice, squeezing down Ryan's neck, releasing after a moment to let him shake for breath. Or to gasp for breath, then his hand tightening again, and he repeated the pattern until his boyfriend started shaking his head, not wanting to use the safe word, but wanting Brendan to know he had enough. His hands fisted in Ryan's hair then, squeezing tight enough to hurt, but not hard enough to pull the hair out. "Touch yourself," Brendan breathed. Ryan obeyed immediately, one of his hands falling from Brendan's neck to slip between them, wrapped around the base of his cock and stroking the slow rhythm as that contrasted with the thrust. He didn't want to come yet, but he knew that he didn't have a choice anyway. He'd come when Brendan told him to. That was the rule. "Faster," Brendan growled, shifting his weight so he could press in deeper. "I want you close, Rye. Tell me whether you're close." The boy nodded, quickening the speed of wrist independently, letting his eyes shut for a moment before he opened them back up. Brendan liked to watch him, and he said he could... And he could see Ryan melt through his eyes when they were in bed. He felt his hand tighten in his hair slightly and stop moving. "Close," he choked out. Brendan smiled, letting Ryan wonder if he was going to hold it. Have to wait. Have to worry if he could. But it was late, and they had to be up in 6 hours. "When you feel me come, you can," he said, nipping Ryan's bottom lip between his teeth. The thrust got impossibly harder after that. Where the heck was I just now? Ken is a jerk in this game. Honestly, I have no idea where I was. But it was late and they had to be up in 6 hours. "When you feel me come, you can," he said, nipping Ryan's bottom lip between his teeth. The thrust got impossibly harder after that, but only for a moment. Brendan bit on the inside of his cheek to keep him from yelling as he felt himself explode. And Ryan's wrist was started... Wait, what? Only for a moment. Brendan bit the inside of his cheek to keep from yelling as he felt himself explode, and then Ryan's wrist was flying as he moaned, loud and whorish. Brendan could feel Ryan's cum hit his stomach. Oh, I was so close. Brian could feel Ryan's come to his stomach as the older boy started swearing, his ass clenching down on Brian's cock as his orgasm tore through him, leaving him breathless and gasping for air. Ryan collapsed prematurely, still feeling his orgasm rocking through him, but unable to move, unable to breathe, unable to think. And then he felt Brennan pull out, leaving him empty and loose. He whimpered at the loss, turning and pressing his face into the boy's chest. I'm gonna show you Street Fighter 1. Okay, check this out. This is Street Fighter 1. The original. He whimpered at the loss, turning and pressing his face into the boy's chest as he lay down beside Ryan in the bed. I'm gonna look at the move list. Hadoken, Shoryuken, Tatsu. I can't do any of these, by the way. This is like the worst ever. Okay. I like how this dude's name is Joe. Brendan's arms came up, feeling Ryan's body trembling. Baby, baby, he murmured. Shh, it's alright, he kissed the boy's temple, fingertips gently massaging, feeling back into Ryan's muscles. We're going to sleep now, okay? Early morning. Ryan whimpered. If he'd be able to walk properly the next day. Brenny? Yeah, baby? I love you. I love you too, Rye. Brennan waited until he stopped shaking, till he got up and turned the lights out and set the alarm on his phone. He crawled back into bed with Ryan and held Ryan until he fell asleep. Before he got up to clean the bathroom and put on the equipment back in their suitcase. He was only going to be running on 2 hours of sleep the next day, but it had been worth it. And that's the end. Sort of wanted to win a round, but that's okay. Alright. I'm extremely tired of this now. So I'm gonna end the stream. I'll see you guys later. I'm gonna do more Street Fighter next time. Maybe. Anyway. See you all on the next stream. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, all that crap if you want to. Goodbye.